It's Nolan. What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hey man, today we're going to be doing a little bit of a deep dive here with the Not Like Us music video. Of course, those of y'all that were tuned in on my live the other night, y'all were there for that. We also did a chopped up version, a more succinct reaction version, where we took out some of the additional narratives, conversation, all the other pieces. If you saw that, then y'all already were in tune with that. But this particular video, we're going to go through the Easter eggs, the symbolism, all of the little details and things that I know for myself, I definitely missed the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 5 times I watched it. I'm just playing. The amount of times that I watched the video, there was so much nuance. Social media was starting to pick out little pieces that I wasn't aware of. So today what we're going to do is try to cover as many of them as possible. Of course, I don't live inside the mind of Kendrick Lamar or Dave Free, who directed this project. So I'm not going to know every single reference that was compacted into this nearly 6-minute video. But what we do have is the capability to try and point out as many as we can, just so you can understand all of the little nuances, all of the little pieces, all of the nuggets that made this project exactly what it is. All right. So we're going to dive into this. So, of course, the opening shot of the music video goes and takes you back to the Compton Courthouse, Compton County building. Like I stated in my original live, this is where it all begins for Kendrick. Of course, he rapped about this all over the Good Kid, Mad City album. Not only that, but we've also seen Kendrick shoot early mixtape music videos out here. I believe he's done some other content out there. And of course, this is just a homecoming moment, letting everybody know this is all Compton solidarity that's about to take place, which is something that Drake just does not have. No matter how many times that he has hung out with YG or anybody that was so-called, a part of the culture in California, in Compton, or from the sets out in Cali, just because you hang out with these people and because you've done music and done shows with these folks, it doesn't mean that you're one of them, right? Which, again, leans into Not Like Us. Then we've got that intro song at the top of the video, the one that everybody is dancing and vibing to. Everybody's trying to figure out when the hell this song is actually going to be dropping. As of right now, we don't know if it's ever going to drop. If you go back to the All Right music video from To Pimp a Butterfly, there was that intro with Kendrick and his black hippie cohorts sitting in that car being tugged along by the police or whatever. And we still don't have that record, right? People have been looking for that for years. It turns out that's like a Mac Miller song or something like that. It's unreleased and he had a verse or something on it. It's not going to happen. But for this one, I hope we actually get it. Hopefully it is featured on the upcoming Kendrick Lamar album. We can't guarantee that it is, but we do know that shit is banging. All right? So Kendrick teases a new song to kick off the video, rhyming, "Woke up looking for the broccoli, hot key, keep a horn on me, that kamasi." And, keep a horn on me. Of course, Kendrick doesn't travel with a horn, but I guess if he did walk around with that stick, it wouldn't be Andre 3K. But, of course, if you think deeper, keep a horn on me, West Coast culture, West Coast slang, keep the blower on me. You know what I'm saying? A gun, a blower. What is a horn? A blower. You know what I'm saying? That Kamasi, I showed y'all Kamasi Washington yesterday. He's a saxophonist that Kendrick works very closely with. He was all over the last couple of albums that he's put out. So keep a horn on me, that Kamasi. IP, the ownership, the blueprint is by me. Mr. Get Off, I get off and mop feet. Now, the lyrics there are being misquoted. Some people are saying I get off at my feet, but it makes a lot more sense if he says I get off and mop feet. Right? I don't know what Kendrick's foot obsession is or if he has a foot fetish, but we heard him talking about whooping feet on Euphoria. Now we've got him saying I get off and mop feet, which I believe is also some West Coast slang that I'm not necessarily privy to. I'm not going to act like I am. But if you want to go off of the slang term of mop, you know what I'm saying? That's basically like having an assault rifle or a deadly gun that you could basically clean up your enemies with, you know what I'm saying? Clear this bitch out. You know what I'm saying? So I believe that's what he's kind of making reference to. If not, we'll come back and talk about it at a later time, but that's what I think he's referencing on the intro of the video, right? So it's an aggressive tone. I don't know for sure if that part is a snippet of a larger Drake diss, or if this is just a snippet of what's to come on the album. At this time, Kendrick, he moves very mysterious, very methodical, very strategic. So we're just going to have to sit back, wait, and see. All right. Now, furthermore, in this intro, K. Dot talks about ownership of IP, right? Which is all about intellectual property, owning your music, owning your videos, owning your content. Of course, he is the proprietor or co-proprietor of PG Lang with him and his childhood friend, Dave Free. Of course, Drake made plenty of references to Dave Free in the battle, trying to make it seem as if there was some sort of fracture in the relationship, as if Dave Free had slept with Kendrick's fiance and had a child, an illegitimate child, which all seems extremely far-fetched, but people allowed it, right? So he's talking about ownership in a way of addressing Drake's claim that he was stuck in a bad deal with TDE, Top Dog, of course. And according to Drake on Push Ups, taking at least half of Kendrick's profits and forcing him to do pop features. Lamar initially denied this claim on Euphoria and is apparently doubling down on this unreleased record, right? So addressing it, IP to ownership, my shit. The blueprint is by me, nigga. What are you talking about? So even if it ain't a diss, it's just a reference to let you know the talk that we're having right now, it ain't the same. Also, of course, we already know, because this is not new information, Kendrick is no longer signed to TDE and currently owns, like I stated, communications company PG Lang, including its IP, with business partner Dave Free. So even if what Drake said was once true, it ain't gonna matter much moving forward. Now let's get into Dave Free. Kendrick felt it was gravely important to put this on the screen at the end of the video, directed by Dave Free and Kendrick Lamar. For many years, Dave Free and Kendrick Lamar have worked together, constructing, ideating, shooting, directing all of Kendrick's videos. They used to function under a tag name of the Little Homies. If you go back and look at any of his former videos from anything really to Pimp a Butterfly era on up to like the last album, Mr. Morale, I think they stopped referencing themselves as that and moved into just PG Lang. All the videos were the Little Homies, and I think Dave Myers was also helping with a lot of those videos, but they've been doing this forever. That was their whole setup from the jump. So of course, they're keeping that trend going. They're keeping their family going. They're keeping, the friendship is still there. The business partnership is still there. So whatever Drake was talking about, it's been pretty much debunked, right? I don't know where Drake got his information that there was some sort of division between these guys, or that Dave was actually sleeping with Whitney. I don't know if he thought the world was stupid, or if he really just thought, as long as I could convince my day one fans to believe this type of shit, everything's going to be fine. But wow, terrible misstep. Next up, of course, we've got Whitney Alford and the kids who make their appearance in the music video. Drake also suggested that K. Dot is allegedly abusive to his partner, Whitney Alford, and implied that the couple may have quietly separated as Kendrick purchased a penthouse in Brooklyn in 2023, while Alford and their children remain in Southern California, right? And just because Kendrick, he's been seen purchasing property, they're selling their old home out there in LA. He just bought a new house with the family. So the fact that Drake tried to make it seem as though just because he bought a penthouse in Brooklyn is about him leaving his family, that would be dumb. Drake just bought a ranch in fucking Texas, but nobody said that he was running from his family or trying to abandon Adonis. So none of his points really made a lot of sense, right? Alford's joyful presence in the video along with their children is a clear response to the accusations. Now, is it possible they're simply attempting to save face as a couple by presenting a united front? Sure, but Considering the accusations leveled at the pair and Kendrick's victory in the face of such accusations, seeing the family harmoniously enjoy the biggest record of the battle is powerful imagery that will stick with lovers of the infectious track for years to come. Okay? So, it's not something to really read into, but we know the OV hoes are going to keep rolling with that. Don't know why, but that's your thing. Go for it, right? We're going to keep this conversation flowing. Now, also noted with Whitney and the kids in the video is toward the end when this appearance actually takes place, we've also got them dancing in front of the ceiling fan, right as they say, freaky ass nigga, you a 69 God. Freaky ass nigga, he a 69 God. Hey, 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 run for your life. Hey, 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 run for your life. So Kendrick is not playing with this nigga, yo. Like, really? The ceiling fan? And the motherfucker was turned up on high. Now, also noted with this this shot here, some people pointed out that they feel like the use of the lens in this scene is like a house camera. You know what I'm saying? Basically trying to throw it in the face of Drake to say, if you felt like you had inside information on my home, clearly somebody passed you some bad information, right? So if you've been thinking you're watching us and seeing how we interact in the home, you think you have something that's damning. I don't know what you thought you had, but clearly you don't. The fact that this record was also dropped, or excuse me, the music video was dropped on Independence Day, July 4th. That's also not something that needs to be looked at with, like it doesn't mean anything. Of course, the Pop Out concert took place on Juneteenth. Again, we talked about the Black Independence Day. This drops on July 4th, Independence Day for the colonizers. So calling Drake a colonizer once again, but also making reference to the fact that Drake's not even American, right? You come over here to make your money, to make the bulk of your money. You come and associate yourself with American acts. You come appropriate yourself and make it seem as if you are a Black American, but you're none of the above, right? So I'm going to drop it on July 4th, call you a colonizer, and we're going to show that in the actual imagery of the music video just to double down, triple down on those facts, right? So that's another reason for some of the imagery and symbolism that we're seeing in this music video. In another scene of this music video, you can also see Kendrick here, and it looks like they've duplicated the Family Matters music video. There's a part in that video where there's this car that's pulling up with the headlights in a pretty dark scene. It looks like Kendrick is standing in front of those headlights, letting it be known, I'm not running anywhere. You know what I'm saying? In the same video where Drake destroys the Good Kid, Mad City van. And again, both shots also feature a vehicle with the headlights beaming. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the actual screen cap of the Drake video. So you can see here, it's the exact same thing. So it's like those headlights pulling up, but then you have Kendrick and then the ghost of Compton, I guess, protecting the city. So you also see an image of a light-skinned man with a shiesty on trying to approach Kendrick from behind in the midst of those headlights, right? Which has a striking resemblance to Drake on the Dark Lane Demos project. He also wore this same shiesty in the Tootsie Slide video, which Kendrick actually mentioned on 616 in LA. Can't Tootsie Slide about it. This one is just going to resurface. Every dog got to have his day. Now live in your purpose, right? So none of this stuff is just random. Even when I saw this scene of whoever was trying to creep up on him from behind and got struck back by, I guess, the spirit guides, you know what I'm saying, protecting Kendrick, I still didn't know that was Drake in a shiesty. And I'm going to tell y'all, Drake rocking this is one of my least favorite images of his entire career. Because, nigga, what are you doing? Then, of course, in the first verse, we've got the Cell Block 1 scene. Say, Drake, I hear you like I'm young. You better not ever go to Cell Block 1. Now, this, as we can see, we've got Kendrick here sitting on a cot with an actual block two cinder blocks. So of course, cell 2 blocks, cell block 1. Shortly thereafter, we see him actually doing push-ups, which resemble the same push-ups and burpees that he was doing in the park that Drake made fun of. The original cover art for push-ups that was being sent out to DJs and stuff was actually an image of Kendrick Lamar doing those push-ups in the park. So again, you can't Tootsie slide up out of this one. Everything that you've tried to use against me, I'm Uno reversing, and I'm going to do it in full 4K quality. So yeah, I see some people out there that are saying, oh my God, who makes a music video to a diss track? It's almost as if people have forgotten that Family Matters actually happened. So what's good for the owl has to be good for the boogeyman. Like, let's be honest, let's be real, let's be sensible, let's be logical. If you can't check none of those boxes, you probably shouldn't be speaking about none of this stuff anyway, because it's all about critical thinking at the end of the day. And if you lack those skills, just enjoy the music for what it is, right? Like, we don't got to make this weird. Also pictured in the video, you see this wall painting, right? Which a lot of people are trying to figure out what is the actual meaning behind that. Now, of course, we know on push-ups, Drake said, I know my picture on the wall when y'all cook up. So people are starting to put 2 and 2 together. They believe that Drake's photo could be indeed on the other side of that picture. Don't know, could be a stretch. Going further, it could be a picture of the so-called 11-year-old daughter that's being hidden. That could also be a thing. I don't know. Just a thought, spitballing, right? But then there's also people saying that the reason why it's not on the wall turned around is also a Michael Jackson reference, going for Off the Wall, which is a Michael Jackson album. All of this stuff could be reaches, but we know Kendrick, Dave Free, they have a lot of intentionality when they do visuals. With anything that they do, it's not just one layer to it. So everything is possible, or at least plausible, in this conversation. Another reference in this scene is when Kendrick says, hide your little sister from him, and he holds the 2 L's up. As you can see, both of his hands are forming an L. In the video, he's moving them side to side. Well, that is also a reference to Drake hanging out with somebody, a young woman. Well, I won't say young woman, a little girl. She could be somebody's sister, could be somebody's child, clearly somebody's child, but could be somebody's little sister. I particularly don't know exactly who she is or who she is to Drake, you know what I'm saying? But those 2 L-shaped hand signals are a direct reference to Drake, okay? If you didn't know. Let's go ahead and pull that up for y'all so you can see it. So here we have Drake and somebody little sister here holding those L's up. And as you can see, Kendrick Lamar is doing the exact same hand symbol in the Not Like Us music video. Again, make sure to hide your little sister from them, okay? Just be safe. Keep the family safe. Of course, the most obvious Easter egg within this video is going to be Kendrick beating up the owl pinata, the wop, 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 that fucking mud, wop, 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 wop. I'm going to do my stuff. Like, we already know that this owl is in reference to OVO, the other vaginal option, you know what I'm saying? Certified Lover Boys. That whole thing, October's very own, that's their mascot. It's been that way for years. I don't necessarily know Drake's intentions or the reason why they chose an owl or what their affinity for owls was. But that's what they chose. And Kendrick chose to beat that motherfucker down, okay? And you gotta mention, of course, when you pull up a pinata, pinatas are also very popular at children's parties, leaning into Kendrick's assertion that Drake has an inappropriate attraction to young women. Owls are also seen as predators, so that's another flip on that, which, wow. I ain't even really think of that one. Sheesh. Also in the music video, we've got Kendrick doing the hopscotch thing. Just like the pinata, hopscotch is widely considered a children's activity, with Kendrick hammering home his A minor line with the image of him playing a childhood game and further trolling Drake's alleged attraction to, of course, minors. And at this part, we also heard audio from the actual music video shoot of them singing A minor, right? So that's another Easter egg in the video. But also in this outfit, we've got Kendrick paying homage to an old viral video, especially when it comes to this white hat that people have made a connection to. So if you look at both photos, you can see there's a resemblance there. You know what I'm saying? The shot, the angle, the hat, not necessarily the stance because Kendrick is dancing at this part, but you can see the resemblance. You can understand where that influence came from without him having to completely mimic the stance, the clothing and everything, but the damage is already done. Now, if you've never seen the video to the left, I'm going to go ahead and run it for you so you can see exactly what was going on, because that takes this even further.
His hair, whack. His gear, whack. His jewelry, whack. His foot stance, whack. The way that he talks, whack. The way that he doesn't even like to smile, whack. Me, I'm tight as fuck.
And to be completely honest, this takes you back to Euphoria, right? I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. I hate the way that you dress, right? So now it's getting into the fact that Kendrick really don't like this nigga Drake. He don't like the way he looks. He don't like the way he dresses. He don't like the way he talks. He don't like his foot stance. He don't like nothing about this nigga, right? They've had an ongoing beef for over 10 years. They've been taking subtle shots at each other, not so subtle shots at each other in their music through the duration of this entire decade. And it's now coming to a head. Kendrick is saying, you know what? I'm going to let the whole entire clip in the chopper fly, bro. I don't give a fuck about you. I don't like you. I fucking hate you. I don't hate you because I'm mad at you about nothing you did to me. I just don't fuck with who you are, what you represent, and your presence is just utterly like abhorrent. You know what I'm saying? It's abhorrent. We don't fuck with you over here. We don't want you around here. Stay home. Right? You make too much money to retire. But I think Kendrick would love to see that nigga go ahead and hang up the motherfucking cleats. Right? And quick correction, the word I was looking for was abhorrent. I was trying to get to it, but I was just goddamn thinking too fast, but not abhorrent. Also going back to the Dave Free reference and the Dave Free cameo in the video, we've also got them in front of a lot filled with shipping containers. Of course, everybody has already made the inference that this is alluding to the shipping containers that, you know, human trafficking takes place in. So, of course, Kendrick is now doubling and tripling down on the predator and, you know, all of the other allegations that he's placed on Drake. So there you have that as well. Of course, I can't go through this video without talking about the containers because I couldn't even get through my live without people talking about the containers. So I know that's a pretty big piece in the video. Of course, we had to bring it up, but I wanted to try to get through some of the other things before we got to like the severely obvious, right? Of course, in the video, we also got a cameo from DeMar DeRozan, NBA star. You know, he played for the Toronto Raptors for many years. Him and Drake actually used to be friends. So this same man made an appearance at the Pop Out. Him and Russell Westbrook were out there having a great time. We didn't see a lot of camera work focused on DeMar DeRozan at the Pop Out, but we definitely saw him get up there. DeMar DeRozan shows up in this music video, and I'm going to play some audio about him and Drake's friendship because this actually is a lot deeper than we even know, right? Something had to go bad in order for DeMar DeRozan to show up like this. I mean, of course, he's connected to Kendrick. Of course, they're both from Compton. I'm sure that they have some ties. But I'm going to play this interview clip of him on Club Shay Shay a couple years ago where he spoke very, very highly of Drake and even said that they would be friends forever. And unfortunately, just a few years later, everything has changed.
You got one of the biggest, when you were in Toronto, you had one of the, he was what Spike Lee is to the Knicks, what Jack Nicholson was to the Lakers, what Billy Crystal is to the Clippers. Yeah. He's that to Toronto. And I'm talking about Drake. What's it like playing when he's going in on everybody, he's trash, but he's friendly with everybody.
Yeah.
But he's giving everybody the business.
Yeah.
And you like, bro, this dude, he dropped 40 on us, man. Sit down, leave that man alone.
Yeah. No, you gotta let Drake be Drake, man. You gotta let him be him because he gonna talk mess beforehand. And a lot of times, a lot of players on the other team, before he talk mess on the court, he gonna text you and talk crazy to you. You know what I mean? Like, that's what he do. And we feed off it. And, for him to be the biggest star in the world and support and come through like he do, man, that's just him, man. You gotta let him be him.
You went to Drake after you were traded. What did you guys talk about?
Man, we just really sat there and but besides basketball, everything, just the reassurance of like, that was my partner. That was a friend. That was a friend of mine that was like, man, get away from everything. I know it's crazy. I couldn't even turn on TV that day. Phone was going crazy. I just went over there and we sat and talked for hours. Ate, sat and talked, and I think more than anything, just him being there for me as a friend, first and foremost, and no matter what, when it come to him, he'll forever have a friend in me and loyalty out of me because, he cared.
Yeah, he was there for you.
He was there for me when everything was just going crazy, and kind of just got me settled in a sense of like, you're gonna get past it. Don't even worry about it.
He dropped your name in the freestyle, Lemon Pepper Freestyle with Rick Ross. I need to get some money. I mean, because I gave Lou Will that name.
No, you did. You sure did. Yeah,
I gave Lou. I mean, he monetized that. He need to break bread with me, man.
You gonna tell him or you want me to tell Lou?
I need you to tell Lou Will that.
All right, I'll let Lou know that. All right, but I'll let him know.
So what's it like when a guy, nobody has had their name dropped more than Kobe.
Right.
Than Jordan, than LeBron, and KD. I mean, but it's got to be a huge because that's forever. That's on wax forever.
No, yeah. I mean, it's amazing when that happened. Cause I remember, I think we were sitting talking at one of his concert one day, probably 2 years ago, and I was like, one of my friends was like, man, when you gonna put D in the song? He was like, I gotta figure out the right song. I'm gonna get him in there.
Right.
He said this like 2 years ago. We were sitting in his dressing room or whatever, and I ain't think nothing of it. I was like, man, why you bring that up, man? I ain't trying to hit it. I ain't tripping. Like, man, this is my man. I ain't tripping. I ain't about to ask him to put me in the song. So when it happened, I remember he told me about it last year about the song, and I was like, damn, you did? I was like, I can't wait to hear it. But when it happened, it was crazy. You know what I mean? To this day, I respect him for that, man. It was crazy.
All right, so that's DeMar DeRozan talking about his relationship with Drake. This video was the audio, of course. The interview from Club Shay Shay where he talked about this was from 2021. So this is way before any of this happened, right? They talked about when DeMar got traded from the Toronto Raptors. Him and Drake maintained friends. They had a relationship outside of basketball, outside of the connection of, him playing for the very team that Drake was at the time, some sort of brand ambassador for, to help bring viewership and bring popularity to the team. He said that their relationship extended beyond that. Even when he was traded, they had a conversation, and him and Drake was supposed to be friends for life. Now we see DeMar DeRozan linking with his so-called op, right, in the Not Like Us music video with a very stern, stone-cold face, which to me says things didn't go as planned. I don't know how they fell out. Perhaps that information will come out at a later time, but the glowing reviews have ended. Furthermore, in the Not Like Us video, we see this young lady tight roping in the sky with the skyline behind her. And of course, that very closely resembles the album cover to Drake's album, Nothing Was the Same. Of course, he had that blue sky with his childhood face. And then, of course, there was the version with his grown face in front of the skyline. So that is another reference in the music video. Let's go ahead and just pull those up for extra context. So as you can see with Kendrick Lamar, no stone is being unturned. Everything about him is being referenced in this video in some form or fashion. And just little subtleties that to the naked eye, you wouldn't understand, you wouldn't think about. You would think that, you're seeing one thing, which is the tightrope, but then when you look at the sky behind her, it's like, oh shit, that looks eerily familiar. Kendrick links with the producer DJ Mustard, and of course, he's spotted in the music video wearing a Toronto Blue Jays hat, a move that many assume to be a troll at Drake and his native city's team, right? Now, DJ Mustard did come out and say that he wasn't trolling. He claims that he bought a bunch of hats that he liked. He said he bought a St. Louis hat, an Anaheim Angels hat or LA Angels hat, a Braves hat, and he said, I put a faith of a mustard seed on all of them, which is the name of his forthcoming album. And of course, that Toronto Blue Jays hat just happened to be one of the ones that he had for the music video. But to me, I feel like he's saving face. I feel like, I hate to call Mustard a liar, but I feel like he's definitely capping there. You knew exactly what you were doing, but you didn't want to make it too hot, right? You didn't want to lean too far into the antagonizing of Drake. So you want to kind of play it down. I say play it up if you're going to do it. This song is a diss record. You produced it. You in the music video. You know what I'm saying? You on YG. Y'all have made your alliance very clear. You DJ'd at the Pop Out, which, you know, although it was about unity for the West Coast, although it was about solidarity and bringing all of the sets and sections together, the tone of the evening was also to show these niggas we ain't to be fucked with. Drake, namely, being the primary source. All right, so we just got to keep it honest. We got to keep it real. We got to keep it a buck. We saw what we saw, and you ain't gonna convince nobody we ain't see that shit, my nigga. Quit playing. And then at the end of the video, of course, he caps it off with the caged owl. You know what I'm saying? And people have been drawing parallels between this and Maya Angelou's The Caged Bird Sings. And of course, people are saying, hey, y'all know what a bird in a cage can do. All that they can do is sing. Basically saying, hey, you in a cage, homie. Go back to being Drake with the melodies. Not to mention the connotation of the owl being Drake behind bars, being in a cage, aka being locked up. Of course, on Meet the Grrrls, he said that he deserves to be in a cell with Weinstein and get fucked up for the rest of their lives. So, although these images are subtle, you also got to listen to all of Kendrick's diss tracks and have some form of knowledge and understanding about the lyrics in those diss tracks to make sure that everything is being driven home, because not everything is being referenced specifically from the Not Like Us song. You also got to listen to the rest of that exchange. All right. Now, at this moment, that's all of the Easter eggs that I particularly have. I'm sure that there's going to be other people on YouTube, other commentators. I'm sure What's the Dirt, when he finally gets to Not Like Us, he's going to have some crazy discoveries because he puts days, weeks, months into breaking this stuff down. But that's pretty much what I've got. I want to thank Twitter for sourcing some of this stuff. I want to thank Vibe.com for sourcing some of this stuff. I went back and watched the music video myself, sourced some of this stuff, got some screenshots my damn self. And it's very interesting, right? Originally, I said I wanted to see Kendrick have a little bit more fun in the music video, but it seems that all of the fun that was put into it was really kind of sourcing all of these different parallels that they could construct visually to where you wouldn't necessarily know exactly why it's there. You know it's there for a reason. You see what's going on in front of you, but then there's also the mental game that you got to play while you're watching this video, because everything in it has some sort of significance. It's only about whether or not you're catching it. And some people may say, man, y'all reaching, y'all doing too much. Some may say, if you got to do all of this research, if you got to look into all of these different things and you got to piecemeal this whole, narrative and analogy together, then perhaps the song and video ain't really as good as you think it is. And if I got to do all of this just to enjoy a music video, it really sucks. That's going to be things that people from Drake's camp or people from Drake's fans would say. But honestly, when we watched the Family Matters video, there was also a lot of different imagery to where you had to understand why it was what you were seeing. Just on first glimpse, I don't think everybody understood that those were Pharrell's chains in the music video. I think most people understood that the van was supposed to be resembling the Good Kid, Mad City van. I think everybody knew that. Nobody knew what the significance was of the Hell's Angel guy at the end of the video. Most people didn't even put it together that that's who he was, right? We just talked about that the other day. What the hell was that about, right? So even Drake in his own music video, it's not like he was putting it on Front Street. What the hell was going on? Even with the headlights pulling up, we still don't know exactly what the significance of that was, if it was just supposed to be intimidating or if there was a deeper meaning behind it. But Kendrick says, okay, if y'all pulling up, I'm right in front of you and you still can't do shit to me. You could try to come jump. You could try to come jump on me right now, nigga. Ain't shit gonna happen, right? So at this point, that's all that I've got for y'all on this one. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Become an insider. It's so much better on the inside than outside. And yeah, I'm gonna catch y'all with more content coming soon. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm kind of working on new stuff, new content, new forms of content. So if you see me trying things, just understand I'm trying to keep myself motivated, trying to keep myself, elevating. So we may have less long form stuff on the channel. Not to say I'm not going to do it, but we're going to do those. We're going to do smaller clips, right? We're going to have segments from the long form that get chopped up for the subject and for the SEO, for the search. So when people are looking for specific content, they can find those videos and it comes up without them having to sit through the preliminary and the afterwards and all that stuff. So just stay with me, rock with me inside the industry. We're not changing, but we're just expanding and trying a couple extra little strategies. You may hear some music under some content, some stuff you're not. Nonetheless, I hope y'all enjoyed it. Again, I will catch y'all on the next one. Much love and respect, y'all. Peace.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. But I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. But drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I've been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but you run no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. When I catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.